Hello, my name is Michael Barnes, and this is a video on the tips and tricks on how to perform an assessment test. With English Gang, we provide our own assessments, and this allows us to determine which placement the student will go when completing our assessment test. So when taking an assessment test, what we're looking for is what is the knowledge of the student's conversational level. How well can they speak English with you, the person who is assessing them? And so we've devised a couple of ways for us to determine what is the best placement for the student when taking the test. So let's go through the assessment test, and we'll talk about some areas in which will be designated for the student once they complete the test. So it says here, Betty and friends want to ask you some questions. Are you ready? And the students say yes. And if they don't say yes, just kind of coach them along. Say, okay, well, let's go. We can do this. High energy, excited. So the first couple of questions are going to be warm-ups. So, hello, what is your name? And if they have trouble answering it, you can say, my name is Teacher Michael. What is your name? How are you today? Here's a birthday cake. How old are you? Okay, so next we're moving into, this is the beginner or the kittens beginner stage of English Gang. And so this beginner level is called kittens. So what we're looking for here is, you'll ask, what are these letters? And we're looking for the responses, this is the letter V, or V. And then next is, what letter is this? This is the letter Q, or Q. And then the second part of this assessment on this page question is, what size are the letters? So is it a big V? Is it a small V? Or can you say, I asked the question, what size is the letter? And I'll kind of drag my cursor over it. And if they don't understand size, I then say, is it a big V or is it a small V? And that'll kind of help coach them along to give you the correct answer, or what you hope is the correct answer. Then the same thing. What size is the Q? They can't answer size. Is it a big Q or is it a small Q? And then they'll give you the response. So then I ask, which side is the picture on? So I say, here is the picture. This is a guitar. Is the guitar on the left side of the picture or the right side of the picture? So I pause, I'm very clear in my question, I make sure they know what this is, and then I say, you can say, is the picture on the left side or the right side? If they don't understand picture, you could also say, is the guitar on the left side or the right side? And then you might wave your cursor around and then wait for a response. So next you say, here we have some numbers. What are these numbers? So I put my cursor below. They can then say the number, or they can't. And then next, I say, well, what is this right here? What is it? Some responses you might say 7, 1. And if they don't know, just say, it is a pencil. Okay, it is a pencil. How many pencils are there? And then wait for a response. Okay. So we're getting to the last slide of the kittens or beginners section of the assessment. And then what you would ask is, what is this and where is this? Okay. So can you tell me? What is this? What is this? And responses I've gotten, fish, dolphin, animal, or I don't know. And then you could say, it is a whale. It is a whale. And then you can give them a chance to respond. And if they don't respond, that's okay. And you move on to the next picture. Okay, where? Where is this? Okay. And then you could say, this is the sea, or this is the ocean. Okay. And then the last question to kind of wrap it up would be, okay, this is a whale. Where does a whale swim? And if they're able to respond, a whale swims in the ocean. A whale swims in the sea. So that's the response we're looking for. And this would be the end of the kittens section. So depending upon how well they're able to answer the questions, if they're able to get at least 3 out of 4 slides, if they're able to use enough English to answer the questions, then they're able to move forward. So if they struggle on any of these slides right here, at least 3 out of 4 of them, or 2 out of 4 of them, if they don't do well on, they're probably going to be in kittens. And this would be the kittens section. So you did great. Great job being very positive, giving a lot of good reinforcement, positive reinforcement. So you did great. And let's try to answer some more questions. Okay. So these first couple of slides here, this is going to be for the cheetahs section of our curriculum. So again, this is cheetahs. So then you could say, here's John, and John has an umbrella, and there's the sun. So can you tell me, what is the weather like? Wait for a response. So you're looking for, it is sunny. It is sunny. Oh, here's Betty, and it's kind of windy out. Windy, windy. So then you ask the question, what is the weather like? Wait for a response. It is windy. So that's the response you're looking for. It is windy. Another response that would be okay, it is cloudy. So you see the wind, clouds are outside. Both answers to me, I think, are acceptable. So it is windy, it is cloudy. Okay, here's our friend Paul the octopus. Okay, so what is the weather like? And by this point, you're developing a routine with the student. So what is the weather like? So then you would then say, it is rainy. So you wait for the response. It is rainy. So this is what you're looking for. Okay. So next we're talking about people and places in the community. So what are their jobs? What do they do? So then I say watch, listen. Who is she and what does she do? Who is she and what does she do? So the response you're looking for is, she is a nurse. If they say nurse, try to ask them, can you say it in a full sentence? Full sentence, please. If they can't say a full sentence, just nurse, or they don't understand full sentence, that's okay. Then ask, what does a nurse do? Wait for the response. A nurse helps sick people. And that's the response we're looking for. So next one, who is he? What does he do? And then the response, he is a farmer. What does a farmer do? A farmer helps sick people. Okay, now we're getting to the last slide for the cheetahs section. Okay, so between the first slide of the weather and then what people do in the community, and then lastly, what is our morning routine? What do we do when we wake up in the morning? So what are some things we do in the morning? And then you go in order. So firstly, wake up. I wake up in the morning. Next, I take a shower. Okay? And using gestures is okay. But again, you're waiting for them to respond to you. Okay? You do not want to be providing them with the answers. After they've struggled a bit or they're unable to answer the question, you can then go ahead and coach them along and teach them what to say. Okay, but first we're looking for, do they know the answers to all the questions we're asking them? So then third would be I brush my teeth or brush my teeth, and then finally I eat breakfast or eat breakfast. Okay, those would be acceptable responses. So then again, this is the last slide for the cheetahs section. Now we're moving on to literacy. And this is going to be the leopards section of the assessment or the curriculum, the leopards part of the curriculum. So again, you're going to say, this is the alphabet. Can you say the sounds in the alphabet? Now, typical responses that I've gotten are, if you hover over this and you say, what sound does the letter A make? They'll say A. Okay, well, yes, that is the name of the letter, but what sound does the letter A make? And then if they say A again, they say okay, and then just go from there, just move on. So then what sound does this make? If they say B, just move forward. But what we're looking for is, the correct response would be A, B, K, D, E, F, G, H. And then we get to the digraphs over here. Sh, So those are the responses we're looking for. If they say the letters or the names of the letters, it would be incorrect, but that's okay. Let them do it. Let them go through the assessment. You're not telling them if it's right or wrong. You're just there to see what is it that they know. Next, can you read these words? If they struggle a little bit or they just simply can't say it, be like, that's okay, no problem. Let's move on. Let's move forward. And then lastly, what you're assessing here is how well can they read? Okay, so if they're able to read most of this, but they're still struggling with certain words, I would say if they miss up to about 5 words, then they didn't pass. If they didn't pass any at this point, or any of these at this point, we're really looking for kind of 2 out of 3 here, or a good strong 3 out of 3. Then that would be an acceptable pass for leopards. They'd be ready to move on. But if they struggled in any of these right here, then they need to be placed in leopards, because the literacy portion of our curriculum is very important. It essentially teaches our students how to read. So then we're getting on to the cougars, or the higher levels, and some things that we're looking for here so just say, what is he doing in the picture? Can you tell me what he's doing? So if he says surfing, or wakeboarding, or something, if it's just a one-word answer, that's not okay. We're looking for full sentences. So this would be the present continuous tense. What is he doing? He is surfing. Again, present continuous tense. What is she doing? We're looking for she is running or she is jogging. Again, using that present continuous tense. And then what are they doing? They are reading. And then we get into the present perfect. So how long have they been married? So they have to be able to look at the picture. They see 60. They see a wedding ring. They have been married for 60 years. So again, we're looking for a very specific response here. So they have been married for 60 years. And then this is the future simple. So where will he go next week? So you can see here, today he is packing. And next week he will go to the sea. So this is two parts. So if you want to ask the question, what is he doing? He is packing. And why is he packing? Next week, he will go to the sea. Or he will go snorkeling. Or he will go to the ocean. So again, using that future simple tense. And then the last two slides here is we just want to know how well can they use the English that they already know. And this is going to be for those higher level students, so kind of a cougars or a tigers or a lions level in the curriculum. So again, can you describe what's happening in the ship? So as much feedback, as much English as they can use as possible. And then if they can explain what's happening in the picture, if they say like she is at the sea or she is on the beach, she built a sandcastle, there is a red and yellow sailboat, there is an island, it is sunny out. Same thing, describing what's happening with the ship. So it is a black and gray and white ship. The ship is on the ocean. It has an anchor. It has a porthole. It has three engines or three tubes. So just basic information, English skills, so that we can assess them on how well they're able to use their English. Okay, and then that's going to be the end of our assessment there. So again, just kind of reflect on where did they perform in each level, and again, make notes of where kittens begins, where cheetahs, leopards, and then where cougars begins. That's going to be cougars, lions, and tigers. And this will be those higher levels for you. Okay? So just to help you out, as a last kind of quick recap, this is the assessment opening. These questions up until here are going to be warm-up. This is where the kittens level starts. This is where the kittens level finishes. So be aware of how they perform in the assessment from this point. This is where cheetahs begins. So we're assessing them on their level. Should they be placed in cheetahs? Talking about the weather, talking about community helpers and what they do, and then finally morning routine. So this is where cheetahs would then end. Okay? If they do well enough in cheetahs, then we're going to assess them on their literacy skills. So how well do they know the sounds of the alphabet? Can they say the digraphs? What words can they read? And then if they can read those words, how well did they do at reading the entire paragraph? And then this is where leopards will end, and then this is where cougars or the higher levels begin. So again, this is where cougars starts. And again, we're assessing them on their present continuous tense, present perfect, and future simple. And then how well can they use their English? Can they describe that? Okay, well there we are. You've now seen how we do an assessment. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.